incredible call with Cindy Walter last night. She just rocked it. If you guys missed it, definitely go back and watch it. Maybe type in the chat what some of your takeaways were. She's such a beautiful soul. And I don't know, my biggest takeaway from her call was the fact that it took her 20 years to create a $67,000 income in direct sales and 1 year to do that with Isagenix. I'm certain that not a lot of people understand how, I don't want to say how easy we have it, but really how much Isagenix takes care of from A to Z. And our job is to truly share and talk. Direct sales in the past is so challenging because of inventory, stocking of products. You heard what she had to put labels on all of her products, carry them to all of her parties. And I've had a lot of people ask me if parties are the only way that you do things. And I said, it's so interesting if you're somebody that is obsessed with online and marketing online, or now you hear the word influencer, it's actually become one of the ways that companies look for social influence. We actually are calling this now the experience economy, which is something that I absolutely love. And so it's like situational. If somebody doesn't want to do events, they don't have to. I personally believe that it adds massive value and retention. But there are some people online that never step foot in meeting a customer and have a lot of influence. So start thinking about all of the different types of people that could simply share what we have, because that's really the only thing that they'd have to do. And I want to go into today two things. Number one, increasing the number of people that you talk to. Does anybody ever feel like they're challenged with that? Like, I don't know where to start. I don't know who to talk to. And then two, a business owner versus employee mindset, and the difference between the two, and how you're going to become so much more free in where you're at personally right now with Isagenix if you wear a business owner mindset. Because if you wear an employee hat right now in Isagenix, you're going to feel likely frustrated, start comparing yourself to other people, not be grateful for where you're at, because anything that turns a profit after a couple months of sharing is outstanding. Usually it takes years in order for somebody to turn a profit in a business. I know I've talked about those things before, but I think it's more important than ever for brand new people to understand what kind of income there is for simply sharing what they love without having any overhead, without having to stock product or carry it with you. And the more people that you can truly get to understand that one cycle per week is an extra $3,000 a year, and start to work backwards from our cycle chart. Does every single one of you have two things printed? Your cycle chart and your Map to Crystal Executive. And are they in front of you at all times? Because when I first started, that cycle chart and Map to Crystal Executive were on my fridge every single day for me to look at right in front of me, or before I left my door, what was circled. Let's see, Janine, so willing to help everyone, and the comp plan, passion, enthusiasm, and energy. She goes after it versus I think people expect it to come to them. And her son is crushing it. So much fun to do it with her family. Yeah, absolutely. She's amazing. She stays flexible and she tries new things all the time if her strategy isn't working. She doesn't complicate things. Simple, do the do and help your team. Absolutely. Andrea and Janine, thanks for those takeaways. So curiosity. I think curiosity will absolutely change the intention of your business. If you want more business builders on your team, if you want to talk to more people, I want your intention every day. Maybe you just need to write this word out on, on a piece of paper or on a Post-it or somewhere on your vision board. Curiosity, because curiosity is what changes everything in the way that you approach people. When you're approaching people with curiosity, wanting to learn more about their story, wanting to ask questions, you're going to change the way that you intentionally share Isagenix. You're going to be able to talk to more people with the intention of adding them to your network versus thinking that you're going to enroll them on the first day that you talk to them. I'm very curious about people's stories. Right now I'm reaching out to chiropractors that are female. And the reason why is because I have common ground with them. If you're a teacher, reach out to teachers. You have instant common ground. If you're a massage therapist, if you're somebody that is an employee in a certain type of work right now, think about all of those people that you immediately have common ground with. And it's really interesting because this was an observation by someone that I know in business. And they said, you're so good at this because you're very curious. I never once thought that you were trying to necessarily recruit me. You were asking enough questions to see if there was a problem there that you could help me solve, and constantly adding value. And what's interesting is when we got our Strength Finders test, if you've never done Strength Finders, I would highly recommend taking something like that and sharing it with your leader or myself, so you can really pinpoint where your strengths are and build a team around you that complements who you are. So ironically, input is a very rare one to have, but it's my number one. And what it means is I'm absolutely curious about everything and everyone and ask a million questions. And that came up for Cindy last night, how she said she just became obsessed with asking questions. And why that's so powerful is because when you have answers to people's questions, you're able to then formulate solutions and to share a solution that can help them solve a problem. And when you're helping, and when you're curious enough to ask those questions, you're never going to feel like you're pushing. You're never going to feel like you're following up with an intention other than to add value, because you've asked enough questions to know, is there a podcast I could send them? Is there something right now going on in their life where the timing isn't right? Is there something that someone I could connect them to instantly that shares common ground with them? If you guys have not been to David, first, if you're a serious business builder on this call, which I'm assuming 26 of you are, and you don't map out your core 4 events for the year and get to all core 4 events, New Year kickoff, UIA, ICU, and celebration, and have an intention to have your team there, it is the most important thing to get people to events, because they truly do the work for you and your belief absolutely changes. We all know that because those of you that are on the Zoom have been to events. And the most important piece is to learn how to recruit people to an event, but you can't do it until you know their deep why. And those core 4, especially UIA, teaches you how to truly connect with people by asking enough questions and immediately build a skill that finds common ground. So common ground, and I shared this example yesterday when I was at Crisp and Green eating lunch. I met the server, the guy that was checking us out. And I, first of all, thought, well, it's 10:30 on a Sunday morning. Here's this huge young guy, like huge. He looked like a football player for the Vikings. So nice, so easy to talk to. And I just got curious. I'm like, do you do this full-time or part-time? And he's like, I just do it part-time on the weekends because I'm going to grad school. And I said, very cool. What are you going to grad school for? Accounting. Okay, you must love numbers. And he's like, yeah, I do. And I said, did you play sports by chance in the past? Because you look like you're in incredible shape. And he's like, yes, I played for UND. Well, UND is where my sister went to school and my little brother. It's North Dakota. I went to NDSU, ran track and cross country as an athlete. Immediately mentioned that, so there's common ground for him to be like, oh yeah, amazing, right? There's something in common. He works at a health store. It's Crisp and Green. It's like one of the most delicious places in Minneapolis to eat healthy, fresh, local food. I said, are you passionate about, healthy food, or was this a job that just landed in your lap? He's like, no, I actually am. I said, do you still work out? Yeah. Where do you work out? Do you use any pre and post workout nutrition? No, I said, and then I shared my 30-second story. I found it super challenging a few years ago to find nutrition that was high quality, that fueled my body pre and post workout, and was something really convenient on the go because it's something I value every day. I said, I partnered with a company called Isagenix, started sharing with people, and had no idea that there was such an incredible income opportunity attached. I said, would you be open to coffee? Because I feel like you could be really great at this. We are really looking for men to complement our team. I feel like you'd be an incredible leader. And he's like, absolutely, let's have coffee. So I said, is it okay for me to add you, on social media? I'll grab it right before we leave. So I grabbed his Instagram, private messaged him on there, and set the appointment time. So that's just an example of how on the go, when you are in a place where you have common ground with somebody, or you observe that someone's really good at what they're doing. These are conversations you can have everywhere. It's curiosity, it's questions, it's asking. And more importantly, it's adding value where you can. So when it's following up, it's now figuring out, how can I continue to add value? The men's podcast is awesome. I love that for the Amped line. So I'm going to send that to him and share some of the resources for some of the professional athletes to show him truly how many people are using this nutrition that are just like him. So that's an example. And I love using some of those examples because it's real life and it just happened yesterday. And did I have an intention of going to lunch and enrolling somebody or recruiting somebody? No, but I always have an intention of being curious about why people are at work. I'm curious why people choose their work. What do they do for work? What got them passionate about it? Is it what they love? If it's not what they love, what would they do otherwise? A business owner mindset, when you think about what we do in this business, completely divorces itself from an outcome. A business owner mindset does not care what someone else's journey is. It doesn't think about it doesn't think about all the people that don't come to their business. It thinks about how it can market to the person that this is perfect for at this time in their life right now. A business owner shows up and they open the door. A business owner goes in and they clean their place. They make their place look absolutely beautiful and presentable. If a customer walks in the door, they shop around a little bit and they walk out, they don't judge that. That doesn't happen. They say, thanks for coming in and taking a look. If you're ever in the area next time, stop by, or we have a new fall clothing line coming in. So excited for you to see it. Stop by next week. Maybe it's for you. Maybe the pants will fit different that you try on. There's no judgment in where the business is at. In fact, the first couple of years of opening your doors to a new business, let's say Alchemy, it's a business looking for investment here in Minneapolis, a small gym, a boutique fitness gym, HIIT training and yoga. It's $350,000 to start a franchise. Do you think if you invested that, you would take your business seriously about how many members you're going to have the morning you open your door? Absolutely. You're going to focus so much on the experience for that customer because you want them coming back for that workout every single month. And on a Tuesday morning, when you don't feel like going to the gym to open the door for the people that have to take the classes, what do you have to do if you just invested $350,000? You do it anyway. You have to hire people that share your common mission and common vision. You don't want a turnover of employees at the front desk. You want people to see the same person with drive, enthusiasm, passion, a smile, welcoming. You're not going to hire somebody that has a crap attitude, that sits at the front, doesn't show up, doesn't welcome people, just puts their head down when people walk in the door. If you're looking for those people on your team right now and you actually care what they say about your Isagenix business, it is time for a business owner reset in your mind. There are going to be people that don't agree with what you do. There are going to be people that return their products. There are going to be people that don't stay at 100 BV and they said they would. They may even be executives that you create that no longer do it. But when the business runs, it's because of your personal vision and mission and no one else's. No one else is responsible for building your business. Extreme ownership for where you're at and some of the things that you need to work on. Maybe it's consistency, maybe it's attitude. What are the words that cross your mind the most? Is it, this is hard? Is it, I'm not as good as those other people? Is it the fact that Cindy had 20 years of network marketing experience and skills, but had 0 people move from her other team? So she was also starting at scratch, but she was starting at scratch with one of the most important things that it takes to have any level of success in anything that you do. If you want to squeeze the most out of life beyond checking in to someone and you want joy and fulfillment and choice, you have to have mental capacity to grow through tough times and resistance and doubt and fear. And that's called grit. You do it when you don't feel like it. You show up, even when other people don't. I never want to hear you say, I'm not coming to an event because I don't have a team. That's the actual reason why you don't have a team. That's the reason you don't have a team following you, because you're giving yourself an out to not show up. I'm not going to have a healthy happy hour because only 1 or 2 people are going to show up. That's why you don't have a team showing up. I'm not going to be consistent in building because I simply don't know what to do. Be resourceful, figure out what to do. I don't know the comp plan, so I can't truly share to executive 3-star. Know the comp plan if you want other people going to executive 3-star. I don't have anybody duplicating on my team. Do you share, they share with every single person, whether it's on a napkin. I shared it on a coloring book the other day at Whole Foods with the mom that was next to us. Those are the things I want you to ask yourself. What does an employee mindset do versus a business owner? There is nothing wrong with being an employee while you build your side business, but your side business is going to pay you residually, and it's going to pay you in personal growth and development that you can get nowhere else. And that's one of the most beautiful things of challenging yourself and helping other people rise up. You can never, ever lead people unless you are 1000% confident and certain and completely okay with where you are now, because you know exactly where you're going. That person will hear it. There was one time where I had 2 people enrolled. 2 people, yet I said there is going to be a team of tens of thousands. In 7 to 8 years, hundreds of thousands of people that say yes to this because I chose to say yes. That is the type of stance that I want you to have. There's a really, really good, I want to read it. There's a good quote I want to end this with. An employee versus business owner mindset. Business owners: arriving at work early, being the last to leave, doing more than one's fair share to add value to the marketplace, team, company, or business, sharing more information than one is expected to do, doing more than anyone else, essentially going above and beyond what is expected of an employee. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. I truly believe that. Les Brown said that. What is hard, I think, is giving up. What is hard is constantly comparing yourself. What is hard is being fear-based. What is hard is not getting into action because you're overwhelmed. Just bring it back today. And I want you to really focus on duplication, because everything in January that is coming out, I want none of you to miss out on. And it's going to have everything to do with being able to easily duplicate consultants. Maybe you need to write down new affirmations for the rest of the year. Like, what does it feel like to create consultants in your mind? Like right now, when you think about executive, does it seem extremely far away? Does it seem super hard? Does it seem impossible for you? That's what you need to change first, is your feeling around it, and start creating the mindset that your workouts didn't change overnight. Your body didn't change overnight. The consistency had to be there. Your nutrition didn't change overnight. The consistency had to be there. Your mindset isn't going to change overnight either. If the words that are floating across your mind day to day are, I'm frustrated, I'm not where I want to be, I'm only at this, those are the words I want you to start changing first, because words give meaning to feeling. And your overall dominant feeling in your business is what other people are going to feel. So when you come into these conversations with curiosity and zero stress about your business, you can still be urgent. You can still follow up. You can still do all the things necessary to expose that person to the opportunity and be super urgent, because urgency is everything. Building with momentum and urgency is actually exciting and fun. It does not have to feel stressful. So those are the 2 things that I really want you to think about. And if you're somebody that wants to go to executive and help create more, especially in the new year, I want you to fill out your new map to Crystal Executive. And if there are people that went to 0 and aren't consultants on there, it's okay. There are going to be consultants replaced every single month. I have had more conversations in the past 2 weeks with people that say, I completely want to start over. I can no longer drag people. I am too stressed and exhausted by trying to lift people up, by trying to continually drag them. So I want to start with brand new, fresh people that absolutely have their hand raised and are willing to do the work as well. And if that's you, then go for it. But you have to be that person first. No one wants to join someone's business that is frustrated, doesn't like where they're at, isn't appreciative of 1 to 5 cycles a week. That's an extra $3,000 to $12,000 a year. Think about that. How many people would absolutely love a $3,000 pay raise with just 1 cycle? How could you explain that to someone? Could you explain, could an extra $3,000 to $6,000 a year change your family's life? That's an extra $500 a month, $6,000 a year. Would that change your life? Yes, let's work backwards from that. Let me show you what residual income is. And draw it out no matter where someone comes in their left side, no matter where someone comes in their right side. If you stay on the train, you're ordering 100 BV, this is what can happen. 1 cycle per week. What if we had everybody believing in that on your team? Do you think retention would change? People finding the products that were 100 BV to stay active that can add that kind of income to their family. Those are the type of things that change when you're a business owner mindset. So I hope that helps. Super excited because this week I'm going to Fargo and Bismarck. I'm going to post right after this call where I'm going, and Alexandria, and then Charlotte, North Carolina with Michelle and Bonnie, November 9th and 10th. Little G will be joining me. So if you know anybody in those areas, please message me. If they want to do a one-on-one, if you want to go over your map, we do a little 15-minute dream session action plan. Let's do it together because this is the time. It is going to be one of the biggest promotions you've ever seen in Isagenix. It will actually completely blow your mind. And one of the other things I wanted to mention, so I can be done now, is if your cycles are not where you want them to be, if you feel like wherever your business is at, this is the time to lean into your belief now more than ever. Because there are so many people that stand on stage and share stories about where their mindset and belief was when there's ebbs and flows in the business. Audrey Moss at Super Saturday said something that was absolutely game changer. She said, as soon as I let go of the emotion of the business, everything changed. She said, I was riding on emotion. Do you ever feel that way? And enrollment, yay! Somebody returned their products. I'm horrible. What did I do wrong? Somebody says no. Oh my gosh, this is not, for me. Somebody says yes, they'll meet with me for coffee. Yay! Then they don't show up. Last winter, I had like 5 no-shows for meetings. I had 5 no-shows. I was like so frustrated. And then I go to myself, this is what built this business at the beginning. And it's what's going to build a new team now. That is just simply what it takes. You show up regardless of what other people choose. And I thought that was so huge to maintain your belief in a steady state of emotion while you're building at the beginning is so important. So maybe a playlist, maybe a group you do a blitz with, whatever it takes to raise your state, your energy, and your belief. An event. I go to events because it fuels me up in between building. Every quarter, I need to be filled up with belief. And that keeps me going. And in between those building of quarters, right, quarterly plan, you have an Isagenix core event that you can continue to add people to. And if you want to know who to work with and who to get into action with, it's the people that show up at each one of those quarter events. That's who you give your time to. Because no one else, people that don't show up at events don't know what we have. And they're not willing to put in what it takes to get there. And that shows a business owner mindset. It shows who truly wants it. And you're going to have a lot of people that don't want that, and that's totally okay. But the more people that you get there, the more you won't have to be the only one with belief. Okay, Jackson Parr talks about enjoying the process, which aligns great with not being attached to the outcome. Absolutely. You get so lost in emotion in business, and it can be one of the most challenging things of a mind that has a vision, is because you truly are so attached to, you care about people. You can be empathetic and compassionate, but you can also release yourself from the outcome. All right, you guys have an incredible day. So good to see all of you. Let me know if you want to go over your map. Just message me and we'll find a time. Bye.